Hello YouTubers, my name is Boniface Mkundi and I'm an employee of All Jabet Hospital based in Nyahururu, Kenya. So I'd like to discuss the advantages of the EDU AFYA scheme as presented by the NHIF to hospitals, both public hospitals and private hospitals that provide medical services to students. One of the advantages is to the students that they have free treatment that they don't have to pay for. So this is very advantageous to them, and of course it also minimizes the burden on the parents who remain happy and they are sure that their students will be healthy without them having to incur extra costs of bills paid at the hospital. The other advantage is that the students are healthy, of course they are strong and they are well, and of course they are able to concentrate on their studies. They are able to do better at school because a healthy mind, of course, it's a better performing mind. The other advantage is that these students are treated at school, and so there are no risks. Students have to travel on the way to hospital. You understand that these are minors who are prone to many risks along the way: drugs, interaction with bad company, and so these students are given these services, medical services at school, so they don't have to move out of their schools, and so they're able to do better, and they're able to stay free of these risks and all these bad things that may happen to them when they are not within the precincts of the school. Those are the advantages to the students. There are also advantages to the hospitals themselves, because you understand that these students become a bigger base for the hospital to have more clientele, to have more patients whom they can treat, and so it is a welcome source of income for the hospitals. The other advantage to the hospital is that there's prompt payment, because we understand that the NHIF they fulfill their contract, and so the hospital does not bear the burden of wanting to ask for money from clients who maybe do not have this cash and have poor backgrounds and who are not able to come up with with the money to clear the hospital bills. The other advantage to the hospital of this EDU AFYA scheme is that the burden on their clients is reduced, because the services offered are paid for by the National Hospital Insurance Fund. So the hospital has a more controllable clientele base that is happy and contented, since no money is required from them. Other advantage to the hospitals is that the NHIF has given them a leeway to decide on whether to treat these children or these students without necessarily having to make them move all the way from school, whereby the NHIF in the year 2018 decided to allow the hospitals to provide these services at the school, for the mere fact that we all understand that it is prudent not to have these teenagers move out of the precincts of the school. The other advantages, of course, they accrue to the NHIF itself, because you realize that they also make profit from the project, because to the NHIF this is also a project on their side. Realize that the government pays contributions to the NHIF on behalf of these students, who now become members of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, despite the fact that they are still minors. So this money received by the NHIF is utilized to pay for the services rendered, and the surplus created is profits that accrue to the National Hospital Insurance Fund. And this means that this scheme is, becomes a profitable project to the NHIF. The other advantage is that the NHIF is able to reach to more people in the community. Understand that it is one of the goals of the National Hospital Insurance Fund to one day be able to provide universal health care to the entire nation. So through the EDU AFYA scheme, they are able to broaden their reach to the community, which is a welcome benefit or a welcome notion to the National Hospital Insurance Fund. The other advantage is that it's also a source of income, since the subscriptions received from the government are an extra source of income for the National Hospital Insurance Fund. The EDU AFYA scheme is also beneficial to the government itself, because any government aims at making sure that their citizens are well, they're healthy, and they are comfortable wherever they are. So the government is able to provide health insurance to these minors in an organized way that can identify the sick, those who are in need of medical services, where all the contributions are pooled to assist those students who get ill. So the EDU AFYA scheme, by so saying, is also beneficial to the government. Another advantage to the government is that there's more goodwill. There's more goodwill from the community or from the citizens themselves, since they feel that the government recognizes the fact that these children need these medical services. So